Hi guys, it's Josh Campbell here, and today I'm making a video which I've been wanting to do for quite a long time now. It's chiefly concerning the installation of a 5-way pickup selector on the Strandberg OS7 Standard. Quick shout out to Ola Strandberg, who kindly sent me the schematic for installing the selector, and also Tom Hunt for actually putting it in there for me. The reason that I wanted to do this video was because I couldn't really find any videos that kind of related directly to it. The idea of changing the pickup selector on the completely standard guitar. So I'll just go through the features of this guitar so you know what we're talking about here. It's the standard with the ash body, maple neck and flame maple top, with the passive alumitone pickups, which I think are made by Sir. Now normally this comes with a 3-way blade selector, but before I bought this guitar I was more of an Ibanez man, and so I was used to having the 5-way pickup switching system, which is what I wanted to achieve with this guitar. Now obviously when you're demoing sounds of a guitar, there's all sorts of parameters that could affect it, so I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. I'm using Jim Dunlop Jazz 3 picks, I've got Ernie Ball 10s, I'm going direct into my PC, and there will be a cab sim on there, but nothing that will really change the tone of the guitar all that much. I'll try and keep it simple with just 3 sounds: a clean sound, a gritty sound, and a crunch sound. I won't be using any delays or reverbs. And also bear in mind that some of the riffs that I play and chords and that kind of thing, I wouldn't necessarily use the different pickup positions in real life, but for the sake of showing the demonstration I think it's important to try out everything and let you decide what you think. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start off with just a clean sound. There's no effects, no modulation, nothing. It's just completely dry signal. Okay, so we're starting off with just the bridge pickup. So this is how it would sound even with the 3-way pickup selector installed. Okay, now I'm going to go to the next position, which in theory should be a kind of phased position between the middle and bridge. Okay, into the middle position, which is both pickups together. Moving to position 4, which should be a kind of phased position between the neck pickup and the bridge. And finally, the neck position. Okay, so you can hear after that example that just completely clean, there are some drops in volume, but nevertheless they do sound quite pleasant, those out of phase sounds. I always like to think of the pickup changes as more kind of slight EQ changes rather than drastic jumps in tone like you get with the Ibanez. And those volume changes, they can be leveled out when you add in compression, or when you start distorting the sound will naturally level out. Okay, so I've set up a little kind of gritty channel now. There's a tiny little bit of compression on it as well. Hopefully it won't be too saturating. Again, some of the things that I'm about to play, I wouldn't necessarily use the pickups that you see me use, but just demonstrating for the sake of it. Okay, so you could hear there that the distortion in its own right was adding a little bit of compression, and then of course I added in the compressor pedal, which really leveled out the sound, and I can see that from the waveforms. Some of those sounds in my mind were desirable, some are less so, but I just wanted to give a rough idea of how it would sound with a gritty sound. Okay, onto the final sound now, just a fairly basic distorted crunch tone. I'm going to be playing the riff from track 3 of my new album. The track's called Construction and the album is called Sentient Volume 2 Revelation. Do check it out on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, or wherever it's ended up. Okay, so I'll start off with the bridge pickup, playing this riff, and I'll go through 5 times. Here we go. In conclusion, I think I enjoy having the 2 extra sounds of the pickup out of phase positions. They're not quite as distinctive as the RG Ibanez kind of setup, but they do offer that kind of single coil sound that we're after. And there isn't too much of a volume drop off either when you add in just a little bit of compression or distortion. One thing I will say is that this guitar wasn't designed with a 5-way blade selector. Okay, it came with a 3-way selector, so if that's not your thing, then you really don't need to worry about it. But if you like having tone variation and options, then the selector that I bought was from All Parts, and it cost me like £4. That's a £4 modification to a guitar that gets you 2 more spanking single coil guitar sounds, alright? So I think it's well worth the investment. If you're in pursuit of a certain tone that is very specific, then this may or may not be the modification for you. But if you're like me, I enjoy the sound of a guitar. You know, what you hear is what you get kind of thing. So if you like the variation of the tones for what they are, then I say go for it. And again, I'll just remind you that this guitar was completely stock. There was no other modifications, there was no different pickups in it. It's completely passive. It's as it comes out the factory. All that we changed was the pickup selector, so we had those 2 extra sounds on board. Okay, well that's about it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave some comments in the box, and I'd love to hear what you think about it. Until then, see you later.